As tensions between India and Pakistan grow, India has firmly taken the lead in the next generation weapons race, this time with its hypersonic missile technology. India successfully tested its first long-range hypersonic missile on the evening of November 16, 2024, firing it from the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the Odisha coast. Illuminating the dark night sky, the missile was monitored by a vast range of sophisticated systems on land, sea and air. The thrust of this potent missile lies in its ability to fire multiple payloads over distances exceeding 1,500 kilometers, providing India with a definitive advantage in future wars. The Indian hypersonic missile flew at speed of Mach 6 or 7,400 kilometers per hour, which means it can hit Islamabad from Jammu in just 2 minutes, giving no time for Pakistan military to even react. The downrange data attested to precision terminal maneuvers and a pinpoint accurate impact, representing a significant milestone in India's missile development saga. The indigenous hypersonic missile, developed completely by the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Missile Complex in Hyderabad, is a product of years of joint working between DRDO laboratories industry and Defence Forces experts. The successful trial flight was viewed by top scientists of the DRDO and military commanders as well. Taking to social media site X, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh praised the test as a historic achievement and stated that it puts India in an elite list of countries possessing such advanced hypersonic missile abilities. India's hypersonic aspirations didn't end with these flight trials of the missiles. In fact, they're just getting started. Just a few days ago, on April 25, 2025, DRDO made yet another breakthrough. At the newly established Scramjet Connect test facility in Hyderabad, the Defence Research and Development Laboratory successfully tested an active cooled scramjet subscale combustor on the ground this time for a record 1,000 seconds, meaning sustained flight is now possible. This after a successful earlier test of 120 seconds in January 2025. The outcome? India is now well on its way to developing full-scale, flight-capable hypersonic combustor, a critical component for sustained hypersonic flight. Now, hypersonic cruise missiles travel at speeds above Mach 5 and are propelled by air-breathing scramjet engines that support supersonic combustion modes. The weapons are extremely difficult to intercept, cruise at low altitudes, and may carry conventional or even nuclear warheads. The successful ground test of the scramjet confirms both long-duration cruise capability as well as India's domestic propulsion design, further consolidating the nation's position in the hypersonic weapon development race. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh described this feat as a clear indication of India's commitment to developing key next-generation military technologies under its self-reliance or Atmanirbhar Bharat drive. India's answer came in the form of new scramjet combustor with some new and smart features. It wasn't a test, it was India's announcement that it was capable of controlling hypersonic propulsion. Here's how it was done. A rocket booster boosted the HST-DV to high altitude and speed. At a height of 30 to 35 kilometers, the main vehicle detached and lit up its scramjet engine, sustaining hypersonic speeds for 20 seconds. Now, while 20 seconds was terrific in the initial test, maintaining hypersonic speed over a few minutes is a very difficult challenge. Why? Because the temperatures get hotter than 2000 degrees Celsius. Fuel must ignite within an instant inside a high-velocity airflow. The vehicle has to withstand crushing heat and pressure and shock waves, yet maintain on course and on track. To stay in the ballpark with systems like Russia's Zircon missile, India needed to take another step and design a more rugged, longer lifespan hypersonic engine. India's response was in the form of a new scramjet combustor. The engine employs kerosene-based fuel not only as a propellant but as a coolant as well. Here's how. The fuel travels through walls in the engine, soaking up heat before being burnt itself. This keeps the engine cool and also makes it more thermally efficient. To safeguard the engine even further, DRDO researchers incorporated a thermal barrier coating within the engine. It has a capability of withstanding more than 2500 degrees Celsius. This shields the interior of the engine against heat damage, oxidation and wear, extending its longevity. They also developed a novel form of heat-absorbing fuel referred to as endothermic fuel. It absorbed engine heat prior to ignition, ensuring components are safe. This fuel is now production ready. With the help from a Department of Science and Technology lab, a unique ceramic coating was also created. It's thermal shock resistant and provides further ruggedness. All this while hypersonic missile development is intensifying across the world. China has flaunted its GDF-600 and already deployed the DF-17 and DF-27 hypersonic glide missiles. The US is testing hypersonics in the Pacific. Russia is employing them in Ukraine. Even North Korea says it has deployed hypersonic weapons. Now, hypersonic missiles can skip past conventional missile defense systems. They can fly at incredibly high speeds and attack without warning, making them a serious military asset. For India, this translates to a more potent second strike capability if attacked with nukes. A strong message to China that India will not be intimidated, a more robust hand in dissuading future wars. Though China has not officially responded, past responses to Indian missile tests indicate that it is observing intently. Pakistan, however, does not have its own hypersonic program but can always go to China with a begging bowl. It has already successfully tested the Chinese CM-400 AKG anti-ship missile, rumored to be hypersonic. India's hypersonic test proves its superiority in South Asian region. In a neighborhood where three nuclear nations meet, hypersonic weapons bring new dangers and new obligations. India's message is unmistakable. It's prepared for the future and is ready to counter any threat to its national security. Have your say. Do hypersonic missiles give India a decisive edge against Pakistan in any looming conflict? The Indian Army has started inducting Mahindra's light specialist vehicles, codenamed Armado, into its Northern Command. The latest consignment has rolled out of the Ordnance Depot at Avadi in Tamil Nadu, a key milestone in the 1,056 crore contract signed in 2021 for 1,300 units. Designed for harsh terrain such as Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, the Armado is specifically designed for high-altitude combat. It is equipped to support roles from anti-tank operations to reconnaissance and even battlefield casualty evacuations. Driven by a 3.2-liter turbo diesel engine, it reaches 120 km per hour and can resist 7.6mm and 0.50 BMG bullets. With airlift capability and modular flexibility, the LSV represents India's Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative in defense production. As border tensions simmer, this deployment equips India's frontline soldiers with the speed, defense and firepower they require the most. Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.